Hello, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment. And we are currently doing the investigation into the murder of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter. In the last episode, we spoke to Patrick Cairns, and I believe we still have to actually speak to him again now, because it was something that we didn't actually get. So,
I'm ready to try again.
Fine. If you want me to take all your money, no problem with that.
right, I will try it again today. If not, I will just skip. Ah, I did it!
Well, good for you, I reckon. You're stronger than you look. Here's your 10 shillings.
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Good winner as well. That's good. Let's have a drink.
Wow, just like that, he's got a pint in his
You're a
hand.
good type. Seems you've managed to settle down in life. You've got money, eh?
Not all that much.
Oh, well. At least you're not as poor as me.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result, find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
A harpooner. Interesting. You've had a lot of adventures, I bet.
Ah, of course. It's been a dozen years since I sailed. I've seen everything. Old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger. We sailed to the Cape of Good Hope.
Black Peter, you say? I've heard rumours about that one.
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar and violent too. Swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant and not much of a captain. At least, not as good as Great Roger.
I see. Yes. I was told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Right, I'm going to do this now while I've got the chance because I may... I have to say, they really have done well with the graphics on this. Okay, so... Ah. Right.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. Peter Carey was captain of the Sea Unicorn, and I was a spare harpooner. We were coming out of the ice pack on our way home. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor. The crew must have thought that she'd foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in the dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We took the man on board.
And who was he?
I dunno. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. Those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all this must stay between us. All right?
Of course.
Okay, so...
Back in a second. I'm off to the Kazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Right, okay, so...
Here it is.
Right, so... During our supposed visit...
Have you got any tobacco? I've
toilet.
run out of mine.
Laboratory...
I lost my pouch. I don't know where. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Okay.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's his name. He commanded the Pequod. He might need good harpooners. I'll tell him about you.
Maybe. If you like, aye.
I'm done here. It's time to leave.
Okay, so we can now make a deduction. Okay, so it's pretty obvious really what those deductions are. Right, so for the moment we'll just do that. Because there might be something else we need to do. Right, so we're actually now at the point where I think we have to start going through the different possibilities of murder and who the guilty person is. So I will, as some well, I am going to say that I'm following a guide to this, so you'll have to excuse me if I go quiet for a few seconds because I have to um, I have to check what I'm doing is correct. So okay, so right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, which is something that I did say yes in the previous episode that I wasn't going to do, is I was because my plan was to basically just do the actual final conclusion, but because Sherlock Holmes is not one of the things that I find to be the most of interest in the stories, and I decided that, you know what, I couldn't get into it, but obviously because Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order ended, I wanted to do this, and I will admit it is drawing me in a bit. So, but we're now going to do the thing where we're going to go through all the conclusions, ending up with what will be the correct conclusion. And the reason we're doing that is because there is a trophy that we can achieve at the end of it. So, um, right, so, right. So this is what we will start off with, the first one. So this is where we're going to prove Nelligan's guilt. So stolen valued papers to start with. Right, so then the next bit is where we have to then go to this bit, and what we're looking for is retrieving the notebook. Okay, which we appear to have in place already. Right, so then the next part we do there is Nelligan's motives. So John Nelligan could have been caught stealing the bond certificates. This could have been a motive for him to murder Peter Carey. So that sets that up in place, I think, already. Right, so I think it's this one. We need to change to harmless flirting. One down here needs to be the unexplained present, and then we then got to go to this one, and we change that to hurtless innocent. Okay. So with this, change that to lucky throw. So this then we've got this in place. Pouch proves visit. So what we do is we're going to... Now, this is another part where you can get another trophy for this. If you go with one particular judgment, you have to then continue to go through all of that if you want to get the trophy. Obviously, you can play this how you want if you don't want to do the trophies. But if you do, this is what you need to do. So if I condemn Nelligan, then obviously that's what I'm going to have to do to proceed all the way through every single one in order to obviously Sherlock Holmes is about truth and honesty, and in his investigations, whatever means he has to go through to get that. But for the sake of this game, we're going to condemn him, and we want to say confirm your choice, yes. So you're going to see a few of these now, which might be a bit irritating.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
It was John Nelligan, Inspector.
I thought as much, but I failed to see his motive.
Revenge, Inspector. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
Well then, I'll arrest this Nelligan. I don't fancy his chances of getting out of prison after this.
I will accompany you, Inspector. You are guilty of the murder of Black Peter. Confess now, and your punishment may be more merciful.
No, I didn't kill him.
Your motive? The valuable securities that Peter Carey stole from your father. Carey refused to return the bond certificates, and then he threatened you. You were afraid, and in your panic, you took the harpoon and made your lucky throw.
But that's not true.
You're a liar, Mr. Nelligan. It's all over now.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
Now, obviously this is at the point where you can then choose another ending. So if you, depending on who you want to condemn, if you want to go with the true guilty party, then I mean, obviously if you don't want to go through all the actual scenarios, you don't have to. Can press check your conclusion, which may spoil the game experience, as it says there. Press X, obviously, if you've got PS4 to accept, or if you've got Xbox, you choose A. On here, you choose another ending is square, or if you've got Xbox, you can choose the X button. So we're going to be choosing another ending here, because so do you really want to play the conclusion? So yes, in this instance we do. Right, so okay, so we're going back to deductions. So right, stolen valuable papers. So what we're going to be doing is changing that to Nelligan's innocence. I think we'll probably need to change the lucky throw as well. So with this, we're just going to change that to looking for papers. Feats of strength, that will need to be changed to. So change this. Okay, so I actually done that, and we need to have lucky throw, because obviously I'm forgetting that. I think that so again, as I say, we need to condemn him in order to follow through with the trophy. So we're going to do that.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
It was Liam Hurtley.
That doesn't surprise me. I've never seen a guiltier-looking fella.
He was in love with Judith Carey. It caused a conflict that proved fatal for her husband.
I see. Come on now, let us confront him.
Liam Hurtley, you are formally accused of the murder of Peter Carey. We are aware that you were in love with Carey's wife. He was a violent and irascible man. He needed to be eliminated. You had no qualms.
But that's absurd. I'm innocent.
Well, we caught you, lad.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
Right, so again, this brings you up with this screen here. Again, we're going to choose another ending. So yes, we want ending. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to be tying up both of them together, both Nelligan and Hurtley. So go into deduction. So that stays the same no matter what. Change that to Nelligan's motive. Right, so here we need to change this to harmless flirting again. Right, okay. Right, who you choose doesn't matter on that, I should state. So I've gone with Nelligan because of the papers, but you could just as easily go with Hurley because of the obviously he's a thing with
The case
Judith
is
Carey.
solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
There are two culprits, Inspector, Nelligan and Hurtley.
What? Well, I would never have guessed, Mr. Holmes. They are a rotten pair, though.
It was a combination of two motives, culminating in one crime.
What were their motives?
The first was revenge. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
And the second?
The second was a crime of passion. Liam Hurtley was in love with Black Peter's wife, and this caused a conflict between him and Carey.
Well, well, well. Makes sense, Mr. Holmes.
I suggest that you organize a small confrontation between the two, just to confirm my accusations.
That's a good idea, Mr. Holmes. I'll talk to these fellows. Join me in the interrogation room.
Right, and apologies to if you just see what
Gentlemen,
come up on
we
the
know
screen
everything
then.
about your association to kill Black Peter. Admit that you planned it together.
Our association? I don't even know this man.
You needed to kill Peter Carey. There had to be two of you there.
Ridiculous. I'm innocent.
All that remains is to determine the level of guilt. Which one of you is the initiator in this case?
But I just told you I've never seen this man before.
It's him. He's the culprit. He was forcing me. He threatened me. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Shut up. You're a lunatic.
Well, it all seems very clear, don't you think, Mr. Holmes?
Inspector, I believe that Nelligan is the true culprit. Hurtley was his accomplice, blinded by his love for Peter's wife.
You've got it wrong. It isn't true.
That's right. I confess.
Well, young man, it turns out you are the gang leader. I don't fancy your chances now.
The
Right.
case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
Right, so again, just apologise quickly for the not available. If it showed up on your, if you see it actually, I was just getting the charger for my controller, and I must have pressed something by accident. So, as I say, apologies. Right, so here we're going to go with choosing another ending again. Yes, we really want to. Right, okay, so back we go. So now, I think it's where we now... Right, so this is where we're now going, I think, to look for the actual... so... change that to harmless flirting. To hurt his innocence. Right, so let me just check and make sure that I've got that right. Right, so those analysis. So this one then we need to change to pouch proves guilt. And as you can see, so fetus strength brings up to guilty. So right, so because of the fact that we've condemned all the others, we're going to or I'm going to condemn him. Obviously, because I want to follow through and get the trophy. Okay, so
If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Holmes, could you explain it to me?
As I informed you on our way here, Patrick Cairns is the murderer of Black Peter.
Why bring me here? Wouldn't it be better if we were out looking for him?
That would be futile, as he will be with us in approximately 12 seconds.
Oh, well, if this is your idea of humour...
No, I just heard the front door. Prepare yourself.
Good day, gentlemen. A young lad gave me a note from Captain Ahab. Am I at the right address? Is he here?
Indeed, it is the correct address. But in place of your captain, may I present to you Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard?
That means...
It means, my friend, that you are arrested for the murder of Black Peter.
What? What? A trap? You think you can take me?
Here now. We'll have none of that.
And I say that we will.
okay, right. I'm not very good at this, so you'll have to. Ah! Okay.
Oh, did he escape?
Yes, unfortunately.
I thought you were good at boxing, Mr. Holmes. Apparently there's still room for improvement, eh?
How's your jaw, Inspector?
Oh, it's fine. Mr. Holmes, all this is your fault. You should have warned me. I would have come with reinforcements.
If that had been the case, then Cairns wouldn't have come here.
Well, maybe. I'm going now, Mr. Holmes. I'll put out a search. This scum won't get far.
Easy sailor, you'll be on the next ship. Okay, well, obviously I have to accept the decision. Bit annoyed at that because obviously it meant he escaped, and unfortunately I wasn't quick enough to get those things going. And this is, yes, the game's drawing me in, but at the same flipping time, really, they're expecting me with a controller to be as quick as somebody that actually does boxing. I mean, wow. Still. So, Oye, Captain. That's the first case solved. So that's going to end this episode, and obviously, as you can see, this will bring us to a new one, Riddle of the Rails. So I will end this episode here, and we will start from this point in the next episode. yeah, so obviously that could have gone better. But my guess is that obviously I don't understand really why that last one didn't hit him, because I got it in more or less, and you kind of think even if it's 3/4 away, and it would have still got him to what's it. But I mean, who the fuck brings in a sailor who's got strong arms, something that you deduct, and then you just say, oh, we won't have to bring in the presence of the rest of the police force for it, because you know what? It would make him not turn up. Well, here's a thought, you twat. You could have hidden some of the officers about. Wow, I mean, surely that whoever did this game could have actually really have used some of the techniques of Agatha Christie's Miss Marple, and how she was able to stage some arrests. Anyway, if that doesn't show my disdain for that outcome of that, I don't know what does. So, anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. And if you did, please hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. And for when I've uploaded a new video. And I hope you have a very good day.